Hey guys, it's me Nasam. I'm going to give my tier list of the Royal Rumble winners since 2005. And knowing that this is going to be a video where at some point I will give my thoughts and opinion and how did it went through with this Royal Rumble match. Some of the match I didn't watch it full match live in some cases, but regardless of the situation, we will get to see how it ended and then when which champions that they had to face at WrestleMania. So the first one, right, is the 2005 Royal Rumble winner Batista. For me, I would say this because Batista, he was the 2005 Royal Rumble winner, where he's from Raw, choose to challenge for his world own brand's World Heavyweight Championship. Big, I would say Big Goldie, which is a beautiful belt, and defeated Triple H to win the title. This is the moment that Batista had to face against John Cena, which Cena was the runner-up. These are the two guys at one point who's considered to be the next faces of the Ruthless Aggression era or WWE at the time. So for me, I would put Batista overall as goaded because here's the thing: whoever wins between him or Cena, it's one of those things that there will be a chance that those two is going to become the face of the company, which that looking back to now, both of them became the biggest stars during that time, and there's nothing to debate about that. The next one is the 2006 Royal Rumble between Rey Mysterio, who have won. All right. So at the time, Rey Mysterio was from SmackDown, choose to challenge for his own brand's World Heavyweight Championship, but lost his title shot to Randy Orton at No Way Out. This is one of those things is that why would you give up your spot? And that's the thing because it's crazy because Randy Orton was the runner-up that time. Also, I forget. If I'm not mistaken, Batista that won the Rumble. If I'm not mistaken, he was number 28. He was number Yeah, he was 28. Yeah, it's basically the same number that he won and then in 2014. Ray on the other hand was number 2 at the time. So, yeah, during that time, yes, going back to what happened, Randy Orton did win at No Way Out. So what happened the following of SmackDown, General Manager Theodore Long re-added Mysterio to the World Heavyweight Championship match, which is like, okay, so he lost and now he just gets back to the championship match to add this as a triple threat. And the thing is that it wouldn't make any sense at one point, but I do get the story where Randy Orton was the heel, Kurt Angle was the tweener, or you could say either, but he was the champion at the time, and he was in his best, in his state as in his prime as the Kurt Angle, as they say, and Ray was the babyface of all, like he's doing it for Eddie at the time. So it was kind of crazy because during that crowd they didn't like Ray at the time because it was in Chicago, and of course people like Kurt so much. If it's Orton, I guess people has a mixed type of reaction in a way for Orton. But the moment he won, it was great. He did it for Eddie, but it's very obvious at that point that he won, knowing that it was a great story. But that was his only time when he got his rise to the top. So I would say even the performance of Ray, like he was the longest guy before Gunther breaks the records. I think 62 and 12 seconds at entering number 2. So for Ray, I would put as well Golden. Like yeah, people may not like him winning the world heavyweight champion, but it's all right because at the time, you know, it, at the time people already know he's gonna win anyways. But it's one of those things that you can't judge basically the guy who small did for Eddie, and at the time this is his only shot that he gets to the top because Vince doesn't even book Ray to stay as champion that longer. And then the next few years, we already see how much he was fallen against Edge, and then to Cena, which is very obvious, which is crazy how Vince booked Ray in this way. But again, this was his only chance that he was on the top. All right. So next one is Undertaker. This was 2007. He was the number 30 guy, and I would say this, right? Because Undertaker from SmackDown chose to challenge for his World Championship again, World Heavyweight Championship, and defeated Batista. This is the time when Batista was champion because he did make it around 2006. He was injured, he needed time off, and then he regained his championship. And then at that point, yes, because Undertaker, after he won, he had to make a decision at the time who he faced. John Cena's WWE Championship, who was from Raw, ECW champion Bobby Lashley. This is the time when the ECW World Champion, when WWE had ECW, they made ECW great at the time, but well, it kind of fallen pretty flat after the moment that they no longer care about ECW. Of course, it was Vince of all people, but um, I would say that for Undertaker, he took a challenge against Batista. It was the right opponent. It was a great match as well at WrestleMania 23. His runner-up was Shawn Michaels, which is crazy though because these two are one of the guys that we thought you know they were part of the Attitude Era or the New Gen era at the time, and it's crazy though because if Shawn won, he would win his third Royal Rumble. But regardless, if I remember, he was switching music, Undertaker, but Taker was like, nope, he carried Shawn, and then he eliminated him at that moment. So for Taker, had a great match with Batista, and of course he was in number 30, which is like okay, like he has the odds on favor because it was number 30. But again, if you think about the match he had with Batista at WrestleMania, it was great. So I have to, I really want to put it great, but knowing that, you know what, I'll put it in great because people would say this, right? He should be in golden, yeah, for sure. But putting yourself in number 30, and then yeah, you have a great match against Batista, which is that was the number one thing that I would put him in golden. But when you think about the number, yeah, number 30, Batista, yes, 28. But at the time, when he was in 28, he had a situation with John Cena, which it ended up in the bunch. We have Mr. McMahon broke his two quads, which is like which is great during the time because people laugh about it, knowing that yeah, it's an injury, no one should be laughed, but it's still funny to me and to other people. But regardless, for Undertaker to come out at 30 and then yeah, he's basically ready to take down anyone. But I would play it great because again, number 30, first number that wins the Rumble, and of course he had some great match with Batista. But again, as long as it's great, it's all right for me. Again, this is just my opinion, so if you're offended, no, I understand. Taker's a legend, but Royal Rumble performance is, it wasn't really that much, you know, the things that you will feel like, okay, this is a classic. It's basically one of those things that, yeah, we already know if he's at 30 and then he's the last two, he's gonna win for sure. All right. So next one is John Cena, 2008. This is the number 30 again. He came back from a tech torn muscle in his right shoulder. And the thing is about Cena, um, at the time, no one knew that he's gonna come back, which is a surprising. It is one of those surprise Royal Rumble that he came back. And all I can give about Cena is that the moment that he won, right? This is basically okay, from 2011, goddamn, every winner had to lose four straight one out. But anywho, 2008, instead of waiting until WrestleMania 24, Cena from Raw used his championship shot at No Way Out to challenge for his own brand WWE Championship. Cena defeated champion Randy Orton by disqualification. Here's here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. I don't get why Cena had to, or I don't know why they made the decision to let Cena had to lose his championship, which is like it ended up with between a triple threat for him, Cena, and Triple H. Because I feel like we never had a John Cena and Randy Orton at WrestleMania, and this is a good way to end the feud at some point during that time. But it didn't, it wasn't really a great way to add another wrestler at that time, which I don't know why, but regardless, it was, an okay triple threat during that time. So to continue, thus Randy Orton retain as titles or champion do not change hands by disqualification, of course, unless stipulated. Cena would nevertheless challenge for the title at WrestleMania 24 in a triple threat match. Okay, now this one, it was the right choice, I guess, for some people that Orton retained. And then he had to drop in the next month at Backlash, which is like, okay, you could at least give it to Triple H immediately, but I guess giving Orton his WrestleMania moment was great. And yeah, I think the finish was great. The moment that Triple H hit pedigree on Cena, Orton had to, pin Cena, but he get pumpkin by Orton, and then Orton retains. And the runner-up at the time was Triple H. Yes, Triple H during that time. So I guess returning plus did win was alright for me. He was. I would say it's. I would say it's just. Not playing great. Returning was great, but the moment he lost it just happened like that, and that's how it is. But regardless, that's how it is on how they book Cena in this way. It was the wrong choice. Like the moment if Cena comes out very early, and then at that point, like people are trying to target his injury, but knowing that he's gonna resist and then wins the match, I'll put in Goldie for sure. But he just came out 30, of course. It's the surprise return, which no one knew that he's gonna come back earlier after that injury back in October of 2007. So the next one would be Randy Orton in 2009. Royal Rumble run-up at that time was Triple H again, but he did win the WWE Championship. This is the time when I was like, they built a good storyline. They make things a bit personal, but this is the moment when Randy Orton was a menace to society, and it's kind of bad because Orton, you know, we get the moment that once Orton won the Rumble as a Raw wrestler, all right, but chooses to challenge the SmackDown WWE Championship because it's like they always during the time they always pick the World Heavyweight Champion. The last time that a winner gets a chance for the WWE Championship was Brock Lesnar in 2003. So at that moment, you know what? They're going to go for WWE Championship, but this time he lost to Triple H. And had Triple H gotten counted out or disqualified, he would have lost the title per the this is a good way of stipulation. I feel like, but it wouldn't be fair at that point. And the thing is this, right? This was personal, but the match didn't deliver. That's all I can say. But the thing is that when Randy Orton winning, he was what number was Orton at the time? Because okay, so I just found out that okay, Randy Orton entry was number 8, and it was impressive that he stayed the Rumble for a bit long. So I would say that the build-up was great. The match at WrestleMania wasn't really delivered, but I could give it that as great as well. Since number 8 and then winning the Rumble, that was impressive for Orton. The next one will be Edge in 2010. So he came back from his injury, which is a torn Achilles, if I'm not mistaken. And at the time, his runner-up was John Cena. This is the thing about Edge, right? From SmackDown, chooses to challenge for his own brand's World Heavyweight Championship, but lost to Chris Jericho. I don't. This is one of these things that yes, you got someone return to win. This is the same thing as Cena, but Cena has a different situation. But for Edge, it's like okay, he beat he did eliminate Chris Jericho, and then he eliminates Cena to win. Chris Jericho wins the Elimination Chamber because of the help of Shawn Michaels to set up HBK and Undertaker Part 2. And the thing is this, right? I don't get why you let Edge lose the match against Jericho. And people would say, oh, it's gonna be obvious that, he's going to, win, but no, it wasn't. And it led up to Chris Jericho, which is funny because he loses his championship to Jack Swagger the next few weeks or maybe the next night or something like that. And it's crazy because Edge, once a world champion, loses to CM Punk when CM Punk cashes in his briefcase for the championship, which is crazy though, that it did happen like that. And it's crazy for next year that Edge regain his championship, which we will get to um, the 2011 winner. But for now, Edge, I think I would say good. It's good that he finally won his first, but it's kind of a bit odd that he had to lose it, and at the same time, you know, it went a bit nowhere for him to do when he kind of destroyed Jericho, and then at that point, Jack Swagger got the championship. Next one is the 2011 winner, Berto Del Rio. Yeah, I think yeah, we already know that he's banned from WWE for a lot of reasons, but anywho, Alberto Del Rio's runner-up was Santino Marella. Yeah, Santino Marella. But at the time, Del Rio from SmackDown chose to challenge for his own brand's World Heavyweight Championship Edge. Again, another World Heavyweight Championship to go after. And here's the thing: he lost to Edge. First of all, WrestleMania 27, one of the worst WrestleManias of all time. The only match that was great was Triple H versus Undertaker, which is a great match. And here's the thing about 27, because when he won, this was the 41 Royal Rumble, or no, 40, sorry. This is the 40-man Royal Rumble for the first time. And it's crazy though because when Santino was the final two, yes, you thought that he's gonna win, but it kind of changed to it to Alberto, and they really high on Alberto at that point in his career during this time period of 2011. So all I can give for Alberto, it was um to be honest, it wasn't really a big pop, but I would put it okay. Yes, it was impressive that he won a 40 man, but it wasn't really that necessary for 40. We thought that at that point, the next few years is going to become 40, and then the next one will be 50, which is not necessarily needed. But it was alright, I guess, are okay, but it wasn't really that necessary for him to, at that point, it was Edge's last match, so we cannot let him lose his last match because we thought that he's not going to wrestle ever again because of his neck injury. But at that time, but for Alberto, it wasn't really a good transition for him to lose. And at that point, he did gain the WWE Championship later on, which is great to know that WWE was always high on him at that time. But anywho, 2012's winner, Sheamus. Sheamus's runner-up was Chris Jericho, and if I'm not mistaken, I think Chris Jericho was number two, which is impressive. For Sheamus, okay. So anywho, going back to it, Sheamus. Okay, so his was Chris Jericho. So I think for Sheamus, because he did beat Daniel Bryan. All I know is that yeah, he chose his World Heavyweight Championship spot for defeating Daniel Bryan, which is 18 seconds, which is not a good. I get it, he won, but it kind of, it wasn't really that great. This is the time when Daniel Bryan gets a lot of, fans that they believe in him at that point, and then they kind of, get the slap in the face type of situation. I would put Sheamus win plus his WrestleMania match onto, uh, or the situation that he won at WrestleMania was okay, I guess. Yeah, okay. The next one is the 2013 Royal Rumble. This is John Cena's second win. All right, so his Royal Rumble runner-up was Ryback. Yeah, and this is the time when Cena had to redeem because he had a lot of losses during 2012 when he lost to The Rock. Of course, the match he had with Brock Lesnar, it shouldn't been Cena winning. It should be Brock, but I get it. At the time, I don't know why Vince had to make that decision. Maybe punishment, but I feel like they should not do that. You know, because you want to make Brock strong at that time when he came back. But I don't know why is that direction though. But regardless, that's how it is. For Cena, he chose his champ to challenge for the WWE Championship and successfully defending his title shot against CM Punk. which is February 25th episode of Raw. But that was the time when, at WrestleMania 29, Cena defeated The Rock. So this is a mistake, I think, against The Rock, because The Rock beat CM Punk at the Royal Rumble. And then at that part, February 25th, this is the time when if I'm not mistaken, the Raw was going back to the old, Raw is War type of thing that in the past, and they declared it at WrestleMania for 29, and it was a good match between those two. The Rock won at 28, and then Cena won at 29, of course, because at that moment they trying to tie things up between those two. Um, I would say that the storyline of that build was great. Of course, fans weren't that, it was mixed because let's face it, Cena was the face of the company. The Rock, of course, was once the face as well during the time. So I would say, I will put it in great, not goated, because let's face it, because at the time, you know, it was a good build up, but it wasn't making me feel like this is going to be the most goated event for Cena at the time. If he wins the Rumble this year and then wins his 17, if the story was good, if the story was right, I would put in gold the latest one if he did win. But the thing is about 2013, the moment that he won, first of all, you eliminated Ryback, who was hella popular at the time. And I don't get why WWE is like, you know what, we will push the face of the company instead of pushing the newest guy. And it kind of, it was all right. But the moment that they add the twice of the lifetime match, it was supposed to be once in a lifetime. But the second time, it's like, at that point, it kind of takes away a bit. But still, you cannot deny his performance during the Rumble, and he won the championship to regain his, redemption, which is, or to have redemption, which is nice for Cena. 2014. This is Batista winning. Okay, so this one, oh boy, this is going to be the worst one, because at the time people were high on Daniel Bryan. It was the worst decision that WWE has made that he didn't appear, if I'm not mistaken. So after, or if I'm trying to remember if he did appear, but I don't think he really appears. Because here's the thing, after months of feuding, Triple H agreed to face Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania 30. This is the opening match, with the stipulation that whoever won or wins should be inserted into the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match between Randy Orton, the WWE World Heavyweight Champion Randy Orton, and Royal Rumble winner Batista, to make a triple threat match. Bryan defeated Triple H in the opening match and went on to defeat Orton and Batista to win the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. This is the thing that I would agree with the situation that they put in, where they inserted Daniel Bryan. It was the right choice that he beat Triple H, and then he ended winning the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. But it kind of, it takes away from Batista to win, because I feel like Daniel Bryan should have won this year's Royal Rumble. The runner-up at the time was Roman Reigns, and this is another thing. Roman Reigns at the time was cheered because people believe that he's gonna be the next guy as the top guy. This is the time when Roman was loved before next year. And here's the thing, because at the time people were like, you know what, it's kind of sad, because for Batista, he came back. You thought that we're going to be cheered because people knew that Batista at the time was hella over when he was the face. He turned heel, of course. At that point, he's trying to transition to be a great villain or heel, and it was all right for him. He played along. But the moment that he came back and people booed the hell out of him because people loved Daniel Bryan, it was really sad, because I feel like he should deserve to have a bit of a cheer to come back for WWE, because that moment, that was the last time we see him during full time, at wrestling. And then he went back to Hollywood, do movies, and his last appearance of match was WrestleMania 35 against Triple H, which is his last match. So for Batista winning, I would put it in bad, because you have him win and he lose at WrestleMania, which is funny because now Daniel Bryan has defeated 3 members of Evolution at WrestleMania, which is crazy though. And at the same time, if it's Daniel Bryan, I'll put in Golden. But this time, when Batista won, it was really, not the case. No, I really feel bad for Dave. He deserves to have a good welcoming back, but man, we all know that Daniel Bryan fans, they try their best to hijack everything or to put it down because they don't want to see another veteran at one point in WWE to take over and steal the spotlight from someone who's trying to build up his way to the top, in which was Daniel Bryan. Again, it was a bad choice for him to, for Vince to make him win. But if it's Daniel Bryan, I'll put him Golden for sure. Next one is 2015. Roman, before Randy Orton, 2015 first. For Roman, for Roman Reigns. This one is bad. I don't know which is way more bad. Is it Batista or Randy Orton, whoever wins at the time? Because this is crazy though. First of all, runner-up, it was Rusev. Okay, man, it's been so long we heard about Rusev. But anywho, Roman Reigns. Reigns successfully defended his title shot against Daniel Bryan at Fastlane, which is like, okay, so wait, at 31, okay, this is odd though. So basically, he successfully defended. So he won the Rumble, and then successfully defended. I feel like this is kind of odd because it's like they're trying to tease, making Daniel Bryan, if he wins, he's going after the WWE Championship or what. But instead, they're trying to tease at this moment to give more hate, which is really bad, at that time. So basically, yeah, successfully defended his title shot against Daniel Bryan at Fastlane. At 31, during Reigns' match against champion Brock Lesnar, Seth Rollins cashing in his Money in the Bank contract, the highs of the century, basically, converting the singles match between Reigns and Lesnar into a triple threat match. Rollins then defeated Lesnar and Reigns in a pronged triple threat match by pinning Reigns to win the WWE Belt. It was a great save because again their first match was, which is alright, but it was a good save for Seth Rollins to to cash in and steals the spotlight between these two. But when Reigns won the Rumble, it was really bad because even The Rock tried to save and tried to, at that point, I would say he tried his best, but it didn't work out as it is because they're in Philly and they didn't want Reigns to win because they, WWE really tried to force Reigns to be their top guy, and it didn't work out. Like again, you got Bray Wyatt or Daniel Bryan should win, but they didn't. They didn't do anything. Daniel Bryan was part of the match. If I remember, he got eliminated, which is really bad. And I don't know about Bray if he did get eliminated immediately. So all I know is that this is the worst, for Roman to win 10 years ago, which is crazy. And hopefully that this year, if he did win, well, hopefully it's gonna be a good pop. But all I can say is that this was bad, for sure. This is the same thing as Batista. The difference is that Daniel Bryan had to beat Triple H to be part, while for Roman Reigns' case, Seth Rollins cashes in the contract to, to steal the win. So basically, you got two winners that did not get the championship. So it's kind of a bit similar, you know. It's the difference is that one wins, in two matches, while the other one has to lose the match at WrestleMania against Randy Orton and wait for his time to cash his in the Money in the Bank, and it's kind of wild. The next one, 2016, right? So that's triple. Oh yeah, I forgot to add Triple H. All right, give me 1 second, guys. We will start first with okay. At the time, yes, the runner-up was Dean Ambrose. It would be crazy if he did win that, that Royal Rumble, but it kind of, it went pretty bad to be honest because, okay, there's no 2016 here, but anywho, at the time, you know, for Triple H to enter at number 30, right? So during the time, it was a WWE Championship of the Royal Rumble. This was the first ever, if I'm not mistaken, during the time when Roman Reigns had to defend his championship. He was Drew number one, and yeah, at some point they kind of put him out of the match by added all those League of Nations at the time when they tried to demolish Reigns and put him to the table, put him out so that he could come back, right? Which is very obvious that they did that. But the moment when Triple H enters at number 30, this is the time when he eliminated Reigns, and then Dean Ambrose and Reigns had a good solid maybe 1 or 2 minutes or somewhere like that where they fought, and then Triple H outsmart Dean Ambrose. This one between Triple H and Roman at the time at WrestleMania 32, it was heavily booed when Roman won. So this is basically like, Triple H trying to put over Reigns to say that he's the next guy up. But again, people didn't like the way that WWE books him, for Roman during that time. So I would say for him to win, of course, number 30, but at the same time, to lose, and knowing that this is a championship match as well, but knowing it would be pretty easy for Triple H, I would say it's good. It's not really, it's not really that anticipated. They just added Triple H to win so that it can set up the match between him and Roman Reigns at 32. So next one is 2017. The runner-up was Roman Reigns again, alright? So this is the second time. And Randy Orton at the time, as member of the SmackDown brand, Orton earned his match for his own brand's WWE Championship after his fellow Wyatt family member Bray Wyatt, rest in peace to Bray, won the championship at Elimination Chamber. This is the best moment that Bray had. He won his first world champion at Elimination Chamber. Cena won at Royal Rumble to tie 16 16 world championship, and at that point he had to drop it next month to, he did get eliminated by Bray, which is a great way to say that yes, they finally give it to Bray, because knowing that his character, it pays off the cult leader, the swamp cult leader gimmick. And yeah, he returned it on the following SmackDown. Retaining on the following SmackDown. Orton relinquished his championship opportunity on the next SmackDown. However, Orton reverted his decision and turned on Wyatt. This is the moment where, okay, they turned on Bray Wyatt. The following week, Orton defeated AJ Styles, who had become the number one contender for the title, to re-earn. This is the thing that's so odd. He won the championship and then relinquish and then win it again. This is the one thing I don't get about the booking decision. But I guess it works, I guess. And who had become the number one contender, okay, of course, to re-earn his title shot at WrestleMania 33. Orton defeated Wyatt to win the title. It was the weirdest match because there's a lot of, I don't know, those type of bugs or anything. All I can say, 2017, it was alright, but it didn't. I get the one who won. Of course, you can't let Reigns winning again, which doesn't make any sense. And I know they always book him as as the runner-up as always, which is like crazy to me. But knowing that this was, I would say it's okay, because yeah, for the second time Orton won, but it was really odd that he had to relinquish and then re-earn, which doesn't make any sense. But anywho, that's for 2017. Now we will get to 2018. This is when the first ever women's Royal Rumble, down to the current, era that we had women's and men's together for the Royal Rumble match. First of all, for the women's, Asuka. Uh, if I'm not mistaken, for Asuka's runner-up was Nikki Bella. And yeah, there were a lot of odd things that happened during that time. Like, I'm not gonna say, like, it just happened, right? Botches, and it just happened for a reason. And yeah, and this is the time when Asuka won the Royal Rumble as a wrestler, but chooses to challenge SmackDown in Women's Championship, but lost to Charlotte. Now, this is before she lost, it was a good way to promote, but it really is bad, because this is the similar where Undertaker's streak was broken at New Orleans, and what Charlotte did, of course, they're trying to, boost her as the next face for the women's division, which is not great during the time. I get it, Charlotte is a tremendous performer, but it really is a bad decision that they really boost her as the top female when you know that Asuka was the heavy favorite to win this match. And knowing that we have our first women that loses, wins the Rumble but loses the championship match. And all I can say, and what's bad is because the ending, Ronda had to come out, and whoever she faces, basically that's the direction, but it didn't went, you know, as accordingly because she ended up teaming up with Kurt against Triple H and Stephanie McMahon, which is like, okay, now I don't know why they had the ending. I get it, it's a good pop because she was mainstream, you know, phenomenon during the time, but for this one, they got the right person who won, which is crazy because Asuka and Shinsuke both Japanese and they won. But for now, for Asuka, I would say that it was okay. It's not really that too, you know, it was really nice that she won, but it was bad that they booked her to lose at WrestleMania against Charlotte. And now we got Shinsuke. This is the thing about Shinsuke. He was hella popular, of course. Never expect that he will win. The runner was Roman Reigns, of course. Yeah, for the third time, which is crazy. And Shinsuke, you know, he had a great, you know, run during this time. He was hella over. And then at that moment, we get to have AJ Styles and Shinsuke. I expect that their match is going to be better, just like in the Tokyo Dome. But yeah, when you expect too much, you'll be disappointed that it never is going to happen. And for Shinsuke, winning was great. The match didn't deliver at WrestleMania, but I would say that it was hell of a pop. That I would say it's good, or no, I would say that because it ended up for him to turn heel at WrestleMania, which is like crazy to me that they had to make that decision. But the thing is, you know what? I'll put in good because I remember that in the women's side has a lot of bash moves. It was the first, and don't get me wrong, they did it whatever they could. But the men's, of course, they got the right winner. It was odd for Roman to be the final two, of course, but you know it's good for him. It would be nice if it's him and Finn Balor instead of him and Roman. But you know it was good. If him and Finn Balor, I'll put it in great for sure. But this one, you know, it was alright for it. It was good. 2019 Royal Rumble. All right. First will be the women's for sorry. Before that, for Shinsuke, yeah, challenges on WWE, but also okay. Now next for females for Becky Lynch, right? Runner up was, if I'm not mistaken, runner up was you know Charlotte, of course. Another golden, but you know, no disrespect to Charlotte, she deserved it, but you know they really booked her too much in this way, in this case. Um, for Becky, won the Royal Rumble as a SmackDown wrestler. This is the time when she got the number from Lana, who got hurt, which is crazy though. And but chooses to challenge the Raw Women's Championship. So Lynch was removed from the match and suspended after continuously attacking the McMahon family, and was replaced by a Rumble runner-up, Charlotte. But at Fastlane, Lynch defeated Flair thanks to the interference from champion Ronda Rousey as per the stipulation of the of that match, she was reinserted into the match at WrestleMania, making it a triple threat match. Now this is basically like they're making the female version of Stone Cold. And yeah, it did pretty well because for Becky she was already a megastar at that point. So people really loved her during that time. You know, the man gimmick. So to know the situation where Flair won the SmackDown Women's Champion, which is you know crazy at the time, because if I'm not mistaken, I think Asuka won and then she had to lose it against to Charlotte of all people. If I'm not mistaken, it's like what the hell. And on March 26th episode of SmackDown, leading to Stephanie McMahon to announce both titles would be on the line in a winner takes all match at WrestleMania 35. Lynch defeated Rousey and Flair to win both titles. I was like, are they gonna reunify the women's for Raw and SmackDown Women's Championship? But it didn't. And what's crazy is that they did make the right decision, but the ending wasn't really that great because of course Ronda's shoulders were up. The ref still keeps counting, which doesn't make any sense. But it should have been Becky versus Ronda Rousey. It cannot add Charlotte. I get it because you added Charlotte because of the performance he has as this woman who is so gifted to become the greatest second gen to Ric Flair, but it didn't. It really was that things that it didn't work out, but it ended up odd. It was the main event, by the way. So all I can say is that for her to steal the number from Lana when Lana got hurt, to lose his opportunity to regain it by Charlotte. Again, this is basically Charlotte losing how many times, which is crazy, and beats Ronda Rousey and Charlotte at WrestleMania. So I could say that I would say it's good. It's not really that great. The moment that I'm trying to think if I should put it great because or maybe good because I think that it was odd. She she should have have the number instead of Lana first and foremost. They're trying to tease it for the fans, and then she won it in a weird way at WrestleMania. She had to lose it against to regain it at Fastlane and then win it at WrestleMania in a weird way. So I don't know. I cannot put it great because it's one of those things that yeah she just got lucky that she has all the fans behind her, but I don't think I could put her in great because of that situation. No, it's my opinion. If you feel like you're offended, look, it's my opinion, and it's very subjective. So I apologize if you feel offended about it. This is just my opinion on how I make this tier list. Okay, the next one is for the men's Seth Rollins. Runner-up was Braun Strowman, right? Yeah, and Seth at that point he was from Raw chose to challenge his own brand's WWE Universal Champion and defeated Brock Lesnar. This is the opening of the match, and yes, it was. I would put it. Yeah, it was great. I didn't watch it live this match, but knowing that it was the right choice for him to win, it's either him or Braun. But they made the right choice to let him beat Lesnar at WrestleMania opening match as well, which is crazy to think about it, but it was the right choice to make him win and get the Universal Championship. Which is crazy because 35 was like building up Rollins to win the Universal Championship, Kofi winning the WWE Championship, and then Becky Lynch winning the Women's Championship, which is crazy. Also, the Iconics winning the Tag Team Champions. Man, we really miss the Iconics. But anywho, um, this is the 2020 Royal Rumble in Houston. All I know, this is also the same day that Kobe Bryant passed away. So rest in peace to Kobe plus Gianna and all the individuals who have passed away in the helicopter crash. But let's get to move on from this. Um, this is the time where, if I'm not mistaken, Charlotte won. Right. This is the time that she finally won the Royal Rumble as a Raw wrestler, but to challenge the NXT Women's Champion. This is the thing I was confused, right? I get that finally there was someone who's going to challenge an NXT, but I didn't know it would be Charlotte, of all people. Because here's the thing, right? She already won the NXT Women's Champion before when Paige is already calling up to the main roster. And this is the thing. Um, Before that, the runner-up at the time, 2020, was Shayna Baszler. This is also a bad decision. Baszler was supposed to be dominant, but Vince was like, no, no, we're not gonna let you win, which is bad. So to sum it up, you know, she faced against Rhea Ripley. This is the pandemic situation where yeah, there were no crowds and it was like, damn. I feel bad for Drew, but we'll get to that later. The thing is, Charlotte did beat Rhea Ripley. And here's the thing. I get that Charlotte is great, but why do you bury another young talent like Rhea Ripley at the time when she was champion? And according to her, it was one of those days that it was very, very bad for her because it kind of lose her confidence at that moment. So it's like, I don't know why Vince had to book Charlotte, to win in an NXT Women's Championship, which doesn't make any sense. For her to win and knowing that she eliminated Shayna, which is very shocking to me, because this is the same situation that Shayna did not beat Becky Lynch at 36, which is bad. Because I don't know why did they not. Because the thing is that when Shayna had to dominated the elimination chamber, it was bad because she had to eliminate so quickly and then waited for the next few minutes, and then they didn't let her beat Becky, which is bad. But knowing that we'll get to the Royal Rumble, you can skip it if I say this type of stuff. But anywho, for Charlotte, it was bad. Look, it's her first win at Royal Rumble, and if she did win this year, well, good for her. But man, it was really bad to be honest. Because why would you have to, book her to face against Rhea, who was still young in NXT, trying to find her groove, and at that point, she had to lose her championship of all the things, which doesn't make any sense. The next one is the men's one, the 2020 men's. This is Drew McIntyre, and if I'm not mistaken, the runner-up was Roman Reigns again. So how many times, right? One, two, three, four. Four times. Crazy. So Drew was like, okay, this is surprising because we never thought that Drew is going to, you know, win the Rumble. No one expected. At that point, they're trying to slowly transition him to become a babyface, which is great because the crowd was getting behind him at that point. He did have a bigger pop when he eliminated Lesnar because Ricochet low blow Lesnar and then Drew Claymore kick Brock Lesnar to eliminate him. So I would say that his victory was goaded. I would say this, right? Because it's so sad because in the pandemic, there were no crowds, and it's kind of robbed him from, winning the WWE Championship so that he can finally have a moment. But hopefully one day, besides the WrestleMania 4 that he won the World Champion and lose it again in the next few minutes, hopefully he can have his moment once again to win a championship at WrestleMania in front of the crowd. Hopefully that he doesn't have to lose it immediately. But trust me, the build up to him winning the Rumble, slowly building up as a babyface and winning everything at WrestleMania, even if without crowds, it was golden for me. He deserves it, but I really feel bad that he didn't get his moment with the crowd. Next one is 2021. Right. So this is the moment. First of all, we'll go to Bianca Belair. So Bianca Belair from SmackDown chose to challenge for her own brand SmackDown Women's Championship and defeated Sasha Banks. Okay, now if I remember correctly, I think Rhea Ripley was her runner-up. Yeah, she was the runner-up at the time, and it's crazy though because they were both building up themselves to become the biggest stars of the company. It kind of benefit Rhea to win the Raw Women's Championship and at WrestleMania against, I forgot who was her opponent, but regardless, she did won the Raw Women's Championship. Bianca winning the SmackDown Women's Championship against Sasha. They made Sasha as a heel. It kind of worked out. They did one hell of a match, and it was recorded as the first women's that they face off, at WrestleMania for the championship, which is a great way to add that up. And I think Tyson Kidd was the one who, made the idea. He was the one who pitched the idea for these two ladies. So, if I'm not mistaken, so I would say that her victory plus, and if I'm not mistaken, I think she entered what number two? Give me 1 second, guys. So. Okay, third. Wow. Okay, going back to it, I just look it up. It's she entered at number three, which is crazy. So for her performance plus winning at WrestleMania or having that match with Sasha, I would put her. I think it'll be golden because at that point you're trying to build up a new star, and she had to face against one of the women's that yes she did. Sasha didn't win a lot. She did win at 38, if I'm not mistaken, but this is the moment where she deserves her spotlight, for Bianca. They're trying to build up a new star, basically female Cena, but not literally like, the golden shovel type, Cena. Basically, people love the way she does things in terms of, you know, being a strong and independent wrestler, and that's who she is, for people to love. And next one is Edge winning for the men's Royal Rumble. The runner-up was Randy Orton. I still remember that one where it's kind of funny because Orton had to get hurt and comes back. He thought that he's gonna win the Rumble, but nah. Edge won, and this is the thing. He lost because Edge won as a free agent at the time and chose to challenge SmackDown's WWE Universal Championship after a controversial finish in the main event of uh, Fastlane, which saw champion Roman Reigns retain the title against Daniel Bryan in a match where Edge served as the special guest enforcer. A decision was made to add Bryan to the match at WrestleMania, making it a triple threat match. At WrestleMania 37, Reigns defeated Edge and Bryan to retain the Universal Championship. This is the thing that I kind of, question because Daniel Bryan once said in the podcast that he doesn't want to be involved. This is about Edge and Edge and Roman Reigns. And it's funny though because during the time Edge was like, this was his moment that he won, and then we thought that they're going to have a 1-1, but they kind of changed. Vince McMahon at that point trying to think that Daniel Bryan deserves an opportunity because he sees some value. So it's kind of took him a bit longer that they gave him a chance. And to add this, factor, knowing that Reigns retains, and knowing that I could say that for him to win at number one, if I'm not mistaken, if I look at the details here. Yeah, he won at number one, which is crazy. He had a good moment with Christian as well. And here's the thing. For Edge, man, I have to put it great. This is the things that I kind of think to myself. If he had won, but knowing that we already know he's not going to win because this is the moment that Roman Reigns is going to retain the championship for longer, as we don't know when is the time that he's going to end it. And it was crazy to think about this type of scenarios that Edge won, and then yeah, it was crazy that he won at one, but he didn't, win everything at WrestleMania, which is sad. Next one is 22. Now this one is the two of the UFC winning the Royal Rumble, which is, it's kind of a bit questionable, but let's get into it. For Ronda Rousey, uh, man, she came in 29, if I'm not mistaken. Her runner-up at the time was Charlotte. Let's go back. Yeah, it was Charlotte 2022. Oh boy, how would I say this? Because she was the second woman that lost the championship to Charlotte. This is the thing, I am so confused. So basically, you put your SmackDown Women's Championship in the Royal Rumble. So I was like, okay, so if she wins, she's going to face against the Raw Women's Championship, right? So it's kind of odd. And the moment that Charlotte was the last person, so you think that she's gonna win as the champion, which is like crazy to me. So she did lose in the Rumble. Ronda won. It goes to show between Ronda and Charlotte, but it ended up like she lost it to Charlotte at WrestleMania, which is like, oh my goodness, like what the hell? And it's kind of a bit bad. I get it, there were some good moments at times, but it wasn't really that anticipated to know that they kind of effed up at this moment. So I'll put it in bad for this one. For Brock Lesnar, though, his runner-up was Drew McIntyre. The thing is about Brock Lesnar, who came into the Royal Rumble event as Raw WWE Championship and lost the title to Bobby Lashley. Yeah, it's one of those things. He lost, and then he came back in the main event at number 30, which is so. This is the thing why I don't get it. You're basically losing. How the hell did you get 30 immediately? Again, typical WWE booking during the old administration during that time. So he won the Rumble and chose to challenge for SmackDown's WWE Universal Championship, which is crazy because Lesnar would go out and win back the WWE Championship Elimination Chamber. It's one of those things. Why? Why oh why? And oh boy, it was announced that the match Lesnar and Universal Champion Roman Reigns at 38 would be a winner takes all match for both WWE Universal Championship. Basically, this is the stupendous match that Vince McMahon has been speaking of. And here's the thing, it wasn't stupendous because in the end of the day, it was a short match, which is crazy because Roman popped his shoulder and they call it a fly where they're about to end the match immediately, which is crazy to me. And knowing that, yes, it was then announced, right, 38 wins takes all, and Reigns defeated Lesnar to retain his Universal Championship and win Lesnar's WWE Championship, so subsequently becoming recognized as the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. How would I say this? It was really bad. 2022 has some bad results. I get it, they're both UFC attractions, both of the mega stars of sports athletes, but man, it was the worst booking to be honest. And then leading up to WrestleMania, it was really worse. Not gonna lie. But anywho, let's move on. 2023. This is Rhea and Cody's. First of all, for Rhea, her runner-up, if I'm not mistaken. Oh yeah, it was Liv, right? Yeah, Liv. So for both, it will be Liv. The thing is this. I remember that the ending where Asuka's mess on Liv, Rhea eliminated Asuka and then eliminated Liv. And the thing is this, Rhea won the Rumble as a Raw wrestler but chose to challenge for the SmackDown Women's Championship and defeated Charlotte. This is the best decision, and I think Triple H, I think he made this decision because this is to get back WrestleMania 36, the moment that she lost. And finally we had, um, Rhea beating Charlotte finally, which is a great way to build. She was hell over at that point, and it was a great match as well. They're trying to see which is the best match between, um, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens versus the Usos in the main event, or you could have Ronda and Charlotte. I know, sorry, Rhea and Charlotte, and it was like okay, it was the best decision that they made to make him one and then have her moment. And all I can give for Rhea, it was golden for sure. This is basically a redemption for her to beat Charlotte, and then it was successfully, defended. And the next one would be Cody Rhodes. Okay, now this one for Cody, right? He the last one he eliminated was Gunther. So the runner-up was Gunther. And this is the thing, right? Cody lost. So Cody won the Royal Rumble as a Raw wrestler, but due to Roman Reigns simultaneously holding the WWE Raw's WWE Championship and SmackDown Universal Championship as the undisputed WWE Universal Championship, Rhodes earned a match against Reigns for the undisputed title at WrestleMania 39. Reigns defeated Rhodes to retain. This is basically a great way to build. But Cody was number 30 at the time. And here's the thing that's crazy because at the time, Reigns needed help, so he needed Solo, he needed the Usos, and then Cody has back out Sami and Kevin Owens. But at that point, we were anticipated. I did watch it live. It was like, damn, it was a good match. But it really is, I feel the fans where it's kind of sucks because, yeah, Cody did not regain. Cody did not won the match. So I would say deep down, because he went number 30 and eliminate Gunther. So you already know that it could be good. It could be good or great. But the build up, I would say this: the build up was great. And even if he lose, what's next, right? And people would say, "Oh, he's gonna get it next year," when it was rumors, and it was like, okay, how would people gonna enjoy it? So I would say that it was golden for sure because at that moment it was him, it was his time, despite that he lost. In which it follows to next year, but first we will get to Bailey. Okay, so Bailey, was the winner of the recent Royal Rumble, who is from SmackDown, chose to challenge to her own brand's WWE Women's Championship and defeated Io Sky. Okay, so this is basically the downfall of the relationship of the Damage Control, and this is the thing, right? It wasn't, the fans weren't that too high on it. The runner-up was led by the way, but anywho, it wasn't really that high to or hyped by the fans, which is like, they tried their best each SmackDown, show that they're trying to promote the match, but it didn't let the fans have that much interest. It was a great match, to be honest. Like, people would say that this is a better match over Rhea and Becky Lynch at night one, but all I can give it this one, um, this match, or for Bailey, I would say that it was good, because at that moment fans weren't too high. It was great for her to win. People loved it, but it wasn't really a good build between her and Io Sky leading out to WrestleMania. Even if Triple H tried his best to book these two women to have a great feud during the time before WrestleMania 40. And then the last one, Cody. For me, this one is already goaded for sure. The thing is about Cody, he came in number 15. First of all, Bailey came in number 3, similar to Bianca, but this time for Cody, the thing is about Cody, he won the Royal Rumble, entered at number 15, and the runner-up was CM Punk. So Rhodes won the Royal Rumble as a Raw wrestler again, but choose to challenge for SmackDown Universal WWE Universal Undisputed WWE. Sorry if I butchered that, guys. SmackDown's Undisputed WWE Universal Championship and defeated Roman Reigns in a Bloodline rules match to win the WWE title. It was really an overkill that they really booked the tag team between Cody and Seth versus Rock and Roman. They did lose night 1. Night 2, it was a Bloodline rules match. But for him to finally redeem that, he finally won the Rumble. And it was the great ending for Cody and Punk, where Punk once said that it took me like, what, 10 years, and I don't want to lose to Dusty's Kid. And then, he fires back Cody fires back and then wins the Rumble. But going back to, kind of, it was a bit overbooked between the tag team. I get it. It's a great way to promote because it's 40th anniversary, but man, it kind of overbooked at that point. Seth got hurt, and then he had to defend his championship the next night, which is crazy. Which he's the true MVP because he carried everything at that moment. And the thing is about Cody, during that match against Roman, it was fantastic. Like, it gives you the Avengers Endgame type of vibe, or some type of Avengers, Infinity War or Endgame type of vibe. And then for him to win that 1, 2, 3, and then Michael Cole said, "Finish the story." It was perfect. It's similar to Sami Zayn, to that he pins, I think, one of the Usos during last year. If I might be wrong, forgive me for that. But regardless, that Cody winning, it meant really something for him to win the Royal Rumble. And at that point, it was really golden that people were invested the 40 than the 39 one. So I guess this is all I could, this is everything that I have, given you guys for the tier list. Also, to tell you this, yes, I cannot edit this one. This is basically, you cannot edit this one, but I would say this is the, every winners of the Royal Rumble since 2005 till now. And this is basically how I will put them in tier list from golden to bad on how good is the moment that they won, and then they main event at WrestleMania. Is it worth it? Is it not? And all I can say is that this is part of the end of the video, guys. So give it a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell for notifications. And I would say this, knowing that this is a long video, I want to apologize. So thank you for watching, guys, for being with me in this long type of video. Well, all I can say is that, again, thank you for watching. We will see each other in the next video. Peace.